So what we'll be learning today, we'll be learning uh, Cloudtrail, and we'll be learning SNS topic. And first of all, what is SNS topic and how that is useful, right? And let's go to SNS documentation, AWS SNS documentation. So Amazon SNS topic is you can create a simple policy, that policy called topic, okay? And you can provide email address, simple notification service, basically simple notify something, okay? Let's say you want to notify a Lambda to run a job on a specific time. You can go ahead and create a topic, and in the topic you choose Lambda, okay? Whenever you want to deploy, whenever you want to trigger, you just provide that, and that SNS, that notification will trigger Lambda, okay? The other example is, for example, let's say you want to notify by email. Let's say there is a Lambda function that is running, and I want to check the status of that Lambda function, whether the Lambda was successful, failed, or what was the status of the Lambda function. And you are in somewhere in Miami on a vacation, you don't have your laptop, right? But that Lambda function is supposed to run every Saturday, not every Saturday, every Monday, for example, every Saturday or Sunday, based on the requirement. And you need to know whether that Lambda function has been run successfully or not. Then you can assist, right? Even though if you are on a vacation and you are responsible for that specific team, and you need to know what happened, then you can assist them, right? For example, if something goes wrong, that's how you can notify using SNS. And let's go ahead and create a simple SNS topic. Actually, let me go and go to SNS dashboard. Any service, you can go to the dashboard. That's it. Very simple, straightforward. Go to simple notification service. Okay. And create a simple topic. Okay. Create a simple topic. And if it is a standard topic or first in, first out, notification, how you want to send out your notifications. Like first in, first out means all notifications. Let's say I have a 10 notifications to send out. What this topic will do, it will put them in a list. It will send like a first in, first out. Whatever the notification comes first, it will send out that notification first. Okay. And just to simply create a topic. Okay. In the topic, you see that subscriptions. I don't have any subscription. Now what I will do, I can simply create a subscription, and I can choose protocol. You see that in this protocol, I can have all this. I can even trigger SQS, or I can even trigger Lambda. I can even send out an email. I can even send out a JSON output for that email. I can even do HTTP, HTTPS, a lot of things. SMS, I can do a lot of subscriptions using this topic. What I will do, I'll just create a simple email and provide that sample email. Not sample, exact your email. Okay. Sample email @gmail.com, right? And you can create a subscription. This subscription, what it will do, it will send out an email. Okay. It will send out an email, and you make sure you confirm. The AWS will send out an email to your email. You confirm that email, then your email has been subscribed as an endpoint for this SNS topic. And whenever, let's say you choose Lambda, you provide this SNS topic ARN to Lambda. Whenever the Lambda ran, Lambda notification will be sent to that a specific email that you did provide in this subscription. Are you guys with me?
సో విష్ణు మనకు లాంబ్డా ఎలా జరుగుతోంది, ఎలా వర్క్ అవుతోంది అనే దానికేనా ఇవి మనం మెయిల్ పెట్టి we were getting the updates?
Not only lambda, you can use all these. You see that?
అదే ఈమెయిల్ చేస్తాను.
Yeah, basically, yeah, you can to get the status basically. So
ఓకే, రియల్ టైమ్ లో అలా అవుతుందా? మనం ఈమెయిల్ ఇచ్చి మనం తీసుకుంటామా, అప్డేట్స్ తీసుకుంటామా?
yes.
Okay.
That will notify through your email actually.
Okay.
And any questions from anybody? So even so, and that was one thing. And I want to explain about this ARN. Can you guys, so each time whenever we create resources, right, whenever we create resources, there is a unique property called ARN. What is that? ARN means Amazon resource name, and this is unique for each resource that we provision. Are you guys with me? Let's say if I create a lambda function, right? That lambda function will have its own ARN, Amazon resource name. If I do create one more lambda function, it has its own ARN, Amazon resource name. Okay. Each service that we create has its own ARN. Some people will ask, hey, how can I identify a service? What is the unique property that you can identify a service in our AWS? And your answer would be ARN, Amazon resource name. Does that make sense? Okay, so that is the SNS. There is nothing like much. Just you are just creating a notification service. That's it. Just creating a notification topic. That's it. What you wanna create about? Like I need an email on a specific status of a specific job, and that's it. That's all you're doing. And okay, and what I will do, I can just go ahead and delete this topic. Okay, let's go to topics, and I don't see any topics. Okay, yeah, that's fine, because I did not create any subscription or whatever. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So the next topic we will discuss about Cloudtrail. Okay, Cloudtrail. So what is Cloudtrail? What is Amazon Cloudtrail and how it is useful, right? Amazon Cloudtrail is nothing but it will do log API calls. What does that mean? So when you try to log into this AWS, right? When you try to log into this AWS, what happens is you are making an API call to AWS environment. First of all, first things first, AWS is an application. You are making application. What is that? API interface, right? Application interface basically. Okay, application what is that? that you are making an API call to AWS, for example, right? AWS. How did I make that API call now? Using HTTPS, username and a password, right? So the Cloudtrail will log each and every API call, and it will log it. So if something goes wrong, let's say I have 3 IAM users, and I have 3 IAM users. All I gave IAM accounts people that are in this class, and I asked them to do something. I asked them to like create a Lambda function. I asked them to create an SNS topic. I asked them to write a cloud formation stack, whatever, right? And they have done something, right? I can see what they are doing, and I can monitor each and every activity through Cloudtrail. through Cloudtrail, if somebody has done something and they would say, I didn't do it. No, there is no way that you can hide your work, because this Cloudtrail will log each and every API call. Okay, it will log it basically. Okay, so let's see how this Cloudtrail will work. Okay, let me go to Cloudtrail. Okay, so what it is doing is, you see that manage events, right? It will put all the logs on this bucket. It is going to create a specific bucket, and it's going to add all logs by default to that bucket actually. Okay, so if I do open this, and if I click on this, right? Okay, so let's see. So let's go to Cloudtrail. Okay, we don't have anything, right? Let's go ahead and log out and log back in. Let me put my credentials. Let me go ahead and add login. Let's go to Cloudtrail. Okay, you see that console login when July 13th, when 5:51. You see that create a topic when July 13th and 5:46. Terminate instance when I did terminate this instance July 13, 5:48 in the morning. That was in the morning. You see that 17 was evening. This is 5:48. So there is no way that you can hide something. Basically, there is no way that you can hide something. It will log everything. Cloudtrail will log each and every activity that is happening to that AWS API call. Am I clear? Can you guys say yes? Can you guys say why in the chat if you are following me? Okay, that's nice. So now this is all about Cloudtrail. Okay, and let me go ahead and select. That's okay. I'll delete this later. But we are good with the Cloudtrail. That's all about Cloudtrail. And you can check the event history. And then let's say, for example, you are in a troubleshooting call with a customer, right? For example, you are in a troubleshooting call with a client, or you are in a troubleshooting call with your coworker, right? Somebody made some changes to IAM role. You had some policies, custom policies to get access for S3 or whatever, and somebody made some changes to that IAM role, and they couldn't able to track it. The change has been made a month ago, and that resource left. For example, that change made a week ago, that resource left, and now you wanna track it. You wanna check what change that he has made, and there's no documentation for it, and he's no longer working for that company. So now it's your responsibility to identify the issue. What you are gonna do? A simple. These are the troubleshooting steps. So if he made some change through GitHub, what you would do, you would check the commits for that repository, and that's one of the troubleshooting steps. And you would go to Cloudtrail and you would check all the logs. That is one of the troubleshooting steps. This is how you explain in the interviews. If anybody asks, can you tell us troubleshooting steps? You don't tell them that, okay, I did fix a register in Ansible. I did fix Jinja template in Ansible. I did write when condition in Ansible. No, they're not troubleshooting steps. The troubleshooting steps is in a high level troubleshooting steps. This is how you explain. So I had to work with the users for their authentication issues. I had to, check Cloudtrail logs, and I had to check commits, like was there any frequent deployment, was there any rollback, was there any changes that are being made to that application most recently. That's how you respond. This is how a senior guy will respond. And I'm not saying you don't have that experience, you do have that experience, but the way you should talk is very, very important, basically. Okay, any questions on Cloudtrail? No questions on Cloudtrail? Okay, then we'll move forward to load balancer. So there are two types of load balancer. One is application load balancer, and the second one is network load balancers. Okay, what is application load balancer? What is both are elastic load balancers only. Okay, both are elastic load balancers. Elastic load balancer in the sense, same elastic cloud computing. How elastic you can elastical, you can detach that IP, you can terminate that instance, you can reuse that IP to launch a server, right? Something like that. So same elastic load balancer, it wouldn't tie to a specific server. You can detach it, you can reassign it to different server, things like that. Elastic, that means you can reusable elastic means something like that. Okay, what is a difference between application load balancer and a network load balancer? Okay, what is the difference between application load balancer and a network load balancer? Okay, and we'll find out, we'll find like what is main difference, whatever. Okay, so the network load balancing is implemented as system or a device. Okay, device route with often hardware software designed specifically, it routes. This is main thing. It operates at layer 4 transport layer, supports like a TCP and a UDP. TCP guarantees all packets are delivered, and a UDP makes no guarantee. So the TCP, what do you mean by TCP and UDP? They are protocols, basically same like a HTTP. What is HTTP? Hypertext protocol, right? Right? Can you guys with me? Are you guys getting me? The TCP, UDP is protocols. TCP, with the TCP, what you will get response for each activity that you are doing. And the UDP, you don't get any response. You just send out the packets. Packets means you just send out the signals. You don't get a reply back. Okay. So what is example? Example for TCP. For example, if you submit an application, you will get confirmation email, right? For example, you will get a confirmation email. That's a TCP. That kind of applications, we would have to configure TCP, for example. And a UDP, you don't get response. You just send out the packets. For example, streaming apps, Netflix, right? So when you access a movie in Netflix, what the server will send the content. You don't get any response back, basically. When you say you don't, not you, the application server which is within the AWS, right? That EC2 instance, for example, EC2 instance hosting that Netflix application, and there are like hundreds of movies and in that application, and when you open a video streaming on your computer, laptop, whatever, it's going to send one-way signal, one-way traffic. It's going to send the entire packets, entire movie to your laptop, but that server don't get any response from that laptop, for example. That kind of streaming, and the people use the UDP. So the network load balancer basically operates at layer 4, And the application load balancer basically operates at layer 7. The HTTP and HTTPS. HTTP and HTTPS, hypertext protocol and a hypertext protocol at secure layer. Those two will be in the layer 7. That is the main difference between network load balancer and application load balancer. Now let's discuss how elastic load balancer works. What is elastic load balancer? What is difference between elastic load balancer and a network load balancer and a application load balancer? Hey, you know what? Elastic load balancer is like, you know what, application load balancer and a network load balancer both are elastic load balancers only. So now remove elastic load balancer from that list. Okay, now what is the difference between application load balancer and a network load balancer? Especially network load balancer operates layer 4 level, like a TCP UDP traffic basically, and application load balancer operates at layer 7 level. That means HTTP, HTTPS. For example, tell me a scenario where I should use application load balancer and where I should use a network load balancer. That's a good question. So now my web applications hosting, I have instances that are hosting web applications, right? For example, I have a Macy's.com. Now any operation that I do here, there should be a response that needs to go back to that server, the server where this Macy's.com is running, right? For example. So in this kind of application, this is HTTPS. If I go all the way down, you see that this is HTTPS. For this kind of traffic, and I would use application load balancer. Okay, for this kind of traffic, I would use application load balancer. And I need to configure database servers with the web servers, right? I would have to configure some simple TCP ports for database servers, between database servers to web servers, for example, database servers to application servers. In that kind of scenarios, I would use a network load balancer. Does that make sense? Are you guys with me? Can you guys say yes in the chat if you... Okay. So the network load balancer operates at layer 7. That means, for example, let's say you have some application servers and you have some database servers. Both should connect to, like, and they need to talk to each other, and you configure them through TCP, some TCP or UDP or whatever. Where do you configure them? In the security group, right? You allow the rules in the route tables. You allow the inbound traffic rules, right? For example, and that is the place where they can talk to each other. For that kind of scenarios, you would use network load balancer. Okay, but where you need to access your application through website like this kind of servers, let's say this Macy's.com is running on an EC2 instance, right? That EC2 instance should attach to an application load balancer. Are you guys with me? Okay. Okay. So now let's go. Very simple. It's very straightforward. Let's go and create a load balancer first. Okay. Now let's go ahead and navigate to load balancer. Okay. And when you choose the load balancer, right, you will see that options. It's simple and straightforward. Okay, let me choose create a load balancer. You see that application load balancer by default, it says HTTP, HTTPS. Okay. So network load balancer, it says TCP, UDP, TLS, whatever. Okay. And this is a gateway load balancer when you need to deploy and manage a fleet of third-party virtual applications that support generate these applications enable to improve security, compliance, and policy controls. Okay, this is a new one actually. They had a they had a what was that? That kind of load balancer. I can't remember that name, but nobody uses it, and it's very outdated. And this is some third-party applications. They do have a getaway load balancer. It's a new one for third-party applications. Okay. Yeah, this is a classic load balancer. You see that? This is the one actually. Nobody is using this classic load balancer. Okay. And let's go ahead and create some HTTP application load balancer. And you provide the application load balancer name. Okay. And you can have an option IP address type IPv4 or IPv6 or dual slack. I would use IPv4. Okay. Listener, you see that HTTP, listen to port 80 HTTP. I would add a listener to HTTPS. That's a secure layer as well. Port 443 by default. Okay. And this is available on this a specific VPC only. This load balancer, whatever the load balancer that I'm creating, only available for this VPC only. This a specific VPC only. Okay. And even in that VPC, I can make an option. Okay, this load balancer should available for these availability zones. I have a 6 availability zones in this Northern Virginia region. Okay. What is availability zone? What is difference between availability zone and region? A region can have a multiple availability zones. Okay. Even region itself divided into multiple availability zones. Availability zone A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever. Okay. You can choose a specific. You see that? You can choose a specific availability zone as well. Okay. And you can add. You can add. Give me 1 second. Let me take this one a little bit up so that I can see what's going on. Okay, next, configure security. Okay, and you see that. So these are the certificates that are needed actually. So we don't have that certificate basically. Okay, and there are some certificates that are needed to configure the load balancer. Okay, next go ahead and configure security groups, and next go ahead and configure target group. And target group in the sense, remember when we create an EC2 instance, let me go ahead and create an EC2 instance. When we create an EC2 instance, we will have an option. We will have an option. Give me 1 second. We'll have an option to add that instance to a specific group, right? We'll have an option to add. You see that displacement group. You see that placement group? That's nothing but a target group. Target group in the sense when if you go back to EC2, if you go back to EC2 and you will see in the load balancer section, you will see target group. Basically what you will do after that security group configuration, you will attach that load balance to this target group. That's it. And whenever whoever is accessing that target group, that means whoever is accessing that instance inside this target group. And whenever any hits goes to that instance, since elastic load balancer attached to the target group, basically automatically load balancer will be responsible to load the traffic, basically to route the traffic to the target group. Target group in the sense instances, right? A group of instances. And you can attach a load balancer to the target group, and that's it. And so let's say, for example, I have 50 instances, for example. Okay. Now I'm trying to sign in. I'm trying to create my account. For example, I don't have account with a Mesos. I'm trying to create my account. Okay. And I did put my details. Okay. And and I had to go out, and I went out. Okay, I went out, and after a minute I came back, and I can still finish this, right? I can still finish this, and that should be okay. But if I come after, like, or maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and I refresh this page, it's gonna go away, right? Or even if you don't refresh this page, it's gonna go away. The details that you put there is not gonna go away. You know why? The reason, when they configure elastic load balancer, there is an option that they can choose a stickiness. Okay. Now this, whatever the details, whatever the application, this is an application basically. This is a web application, sign-in web application that you are accessing, is running on a specific EC2 instance. Now, when you click on that a specific application using HTTPS, now you're connected to, your instance is connected to that load balancer. Whenever you add your details there, those details, your load balancer will be responsible to send those details to your database or whatever, right? And how much time that load balancer is specifically get you an access for that a specific server, and you can configure a stickiness for a minute or 2 minutes or things like that. That's how they can configure. If not, after 2 minutes, let's say there are a bunch of servers that are hosting this web application, right? Next time, whatever the instance available, load balancer will give you that instance to access it. Does that make sense? Can you guys say yes in the chat if you are following me? Yeah, remember just a stickiness. When you do configure your load balancer, just remember stickiness. There is an option called stickiness. You can use that stickiness to to stick to that server basically. Hey, load balancer, can you stick to that server for a minute? If you don't get any response within a minute, it's gone. Okay, things like that. That's all about elastic load balancer basically, because there is nothing much to do, because AWS is doing that. Since we are using their network, their portion of network, they are doing a lot of stuff behind. But as a user, we don't do much actually. If it is on-prem, yes, we do a lot of stuff. We do configure like a TLS, UDP, TCP, whatever. Now also we have to do that, but that's in the security group and route tables level. We don't do much in the network load balancer level. Okay. And the next topic is what we have left in that next topic actually. Can someone help me? CloudWatch,
లిస్ట్ లో
right?
ఉండేదంతా కవర్ అయినట్టే ఉంది విష్ణు.
CloudWatch. Yeah, I little bit remember that. I will explain CloudWatch as well, right? Okay. So what? Let's discuss about CloudWatch. We already know how CloudWatch works, and we created so many rules in CloudWatch. We triggered Lambda, and we created event bridge. We did a very good amount of work with the CloudWatch, but I want to show you how we can send a logs, application logs, like instance logs to CloudWatch. Okay, very simple, very straightforward, very simple. Okay, and I'm going to launch an instance now. I wanna send. Okay, we'll talk about auto scaling group as well. Okay, so I want to send this server. I want to send this server logs to a specific CloudWatch. I can create a rule, CloudWatch alarms. So hey, I have 8 GB space available in this box. Okay, let's say I have 6 GB data already. Like this server is being running the whole night. and lot of users access this server, now there is only 1 GB space left. Okay, you are not monitoring that. You're not going to sit in front of your computer and you're not going to see, okay, let's check the server space in the server. Let's check the space in the server. Let's check the space. You're not going to do that, right? So instead, what you will do, you can configure an alarm. Like you can, okay, if you get 60% of 70% of usage on the server, notify me, things like that. Okay, let's go to CloudWatch. Okay, and in the CloudWatch, people ask like, hey, what you are using for monitoring? We use CloudWatch. Short and sweet, done. Okay, now just let's do metrics. All metrics are in alarm. Let's create an alarm. Okay, let's create an alarm. Okay, select the metric. Okay, and you see that I have EC2, I have EBS volume, have events metric, I have so many things. I have lambda metrics, I have logs, S3, usage, whatever. I can create a alarm for any metric. EBS volume is 50% fill. Let's go ahead and notify. Things like that. In our scenario, we choose EC2, just, you know, and this is the only instance ID that is available right now, I guess, right? Only instance ID, right? I can choose anything, everything, like a metadata node, I can disk read byte. I can choose any event on that specific instance. Okay, and what I will do, okay, just select single. Okay, what I will do, instead of that, I can create like a read, not read, write bytes. Okay, let's write byte and select a metric. Okay, because I don't have anything right now, because nobody is accessing that server, right? And what I will do, I'll just go ahead and create that metric. If anybody accessing that server, that means putting data to that server, and I can see the graph. Basically, I can see the graph. Okay, 80% is done, 60% is done, things like that. Add a name, preview, and create. You can create a matrix like that. And the next day, let's say you have 50 servers or 100 servers, right? For example, next day, you don't have to log into each box to check availability of space, how much space done, how much space left. No, you don't have to do that. All you have to do, go to your CloudWatch, check your metrics, or this alarm will notify you if you configure it. But all you have to go, just go there and look for the metrics, and if everything looks good, then you're good. If extra space needed, let's say instance ABC need an extra space, what you can do, you can go ahead and create a new EBS volume and attach new EBS volume to that instance, and you're good. You're done. Okay, this is called monitoring. Okay, any questions on CloudWatch or monitoring? Okay, I'll take that as no questions. And next topic is auto scaling group. It's very simple. Auto scaling group is nothing but an EC2 instance. But what auto scaling group will do, let's say your application is out of memory. For example, you need an extra server to handle the traffic, right? You need an extra server. One instance is not enough, or you configured 5 instances, but they're not enough. And sometimes you're getting so much traffic and sometimes you're getting no traffic. And you are having very hard time to scale up and scale down your instances, basically. And one person should be there 24/7 to scale up and scale down, and which is not good. So the cloud formation, like not cloud formation, sorry, the auto scaling group automatically scales up, scales down. Scale out means it will add an extra instance based on your launch configuration. Scale down, that means if an extra instance not needed, it will terminate an instance. Let's say you created 5 servers, you are expecting some traffic and you have 5 servers, anticipating very good amount of traffic, but and the least you can have 2 servers, for example. What your auto scaling group will do, it will monitor for a certain period of time, and if it thinks, okay, these 5 servers are not needed at the moment, it can scale in for 2 servers. Scale in means it will terminate the servers, extra 3 servers, automatically do that. And let's say early morning like 8 o'clock, everybody gets motivated and they want to go to gym at least January 1st, right? January 1st, people thinking about going to gym. Okay, let's start January 1st, for example, and some gym names like, for example, what are they? CrossFit, for example, CrossFit application needed like a bunch of servers on January 1st. And since January 2nd, like starting from January 2nd, they don't have those many servers because people, okay, we'll see next year. This year is a half stuff to do. And so what did you don't expect you're going to get a lot of traffic on January 1st, for example. But what you can do, you can configure an auto scaling group. Hey, I need servers up to 100. And you can create a launch configuration. Launch configuration is nothing but same launch configuration when you choose to create an EC2 instance. What is the security group? What is the key pair? What is the instance type? What is the instance name? Same. And you can choose 100 servers, up to 100 servers in the launch configuration. And if your auto scaling group will get a lot of traffic, it will add 1 instance at a time to make the traffic controlled. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. So here you will have an option to have a desired capacity, and you will have an option to have a minimum capacity. Okay, for example, what you see that as soon as you choose the launch configuration, it's going to EC2 only. Okay, let's go ASG configuration, for example. Okay, choose an AMI. I'll choose this AMI. Choose an instance type. Choose T2.micro. Okay, you got to choose this instance type. Okay, and where is the T2.micro? Let me go T2.micro. Right, let's choose T2.micro. And you have that AMI and you have instance type. If you want to use any specific IAM role, you could choose that. And if you want to use monitoring, you can choose that. You see that enable EC2 instance detailed monitoring within the CloudWatch. This will send all your instance logs to CloudWatch. EBS optimization. If you want to have an extra EBS volume, you could choose that. And you could choose your security group. You could choose that. And you could choose your security group inbound rules. You can choose that. You can choose your key pair, then create a launch configuration. Right? Okay, let's go ahead and choose existing key pair. Right? Let's go ahead and do that and create launch configuration. Okay, now you have your launch configuration, right? Let's go ahead and create an auto scaling group using that launch configuration. So whenever, for example, let's say I have a, I need to, give me 1 second. Let me ASG demo, for example, auto scaling group demo, right? For example, and this is the launch configuration. And what I will do, this is the VPC and availability zone, anything, any availability zone is fine. I can choose whatever the availability zone, to add an extra instance. For example, in the next step, I can choose the load balancer, whatever the load balancer I'm supposed to do. I can choose the load balancer, right? And here you see the desired capacity. I'll tell this auto scaling group, hey, I need 50 instances. Desired capacity is 50. It doesn't mean this will create a 50 instances at the fly. Okay, the minimum is 1 and maximum is 50. What maximum capacity is 50, okay, and the desired minimum is 1, maximum is 50, and desired is, for example, desired is a 4. Okay, if it is the traffic is like you don't need a 4 instances, it will scale in. Scale in means it will terminate 1 instance at a time and it will keep minimum 1. Let's say 4 is not enough and it will add 1 by 1 based on the traffic up to 50. And that's it. This auto scaling group will add. So we are not creating any instances. Who is doing that? This auto scaling group is doing that. Now, this auto scaling group, what image it's going to use, what instance type it's going to use, what security group it's going to use, what key pair it's going to use. We already defined that in the launch configuration. Whatever we have in the launch configuration, the auto scaling group is going to use that launch configuration. That's it. Any questions till now? That's all about auto scaling group actually. Any questions from anybody on anything that we discussed today?